It's a cold, rainy fall day in southeast Michigan. The garden's almost shot. The growing season is pretty much over, but there's still some harvesting left to do in the garden. So let's take a walk inside the garden and see what we can find. We're going to start right here inside the garden with the Gerkens. These are the West India burr gherkins. A big fan of these. These plants have been highly productive. Ideally, when you're growing gherkins, you're going to want to grow up some kind of trellis support system, but I just kind of let my gherkins sprawl across the ground, do whatever they want, and it still worked out great. What you get when you grow these gherkins is these little spiny guys that look like this. Doesn't seem like a lot, but the plant puts out so many, it really is worth it to grow them. So taste-wise, they taste pretty much like a cucumber, only a little bit sweeter. The good thing is they really don't get the pest pressure that cucumbers get. So this is a good alternative to cucumbers if you want to grow something and not have to deal with cucumber beetles or other bugs that might want to eat your cucumbers. While we're in the same bed, I'm stopping over here and it looks like the carrots are ready. So let's take a look at what we got here. So here we have purple carrots from M.I. Gardener, one of my favorite carrots. These are super sweet. It's actually been a pretty bad year for carrots. Usually don't have issues growing carrots, but this year I think with the temperature going from so cold to so hot real quick, it made it so a lot of the carrots kind of just stalled out small like this, which is okay. They still taste good, but they're just not as meaty as they could be. I got a lot of stinging nettle growing in here. It's not doing my hands good sticking them down in here. I also planted a fall round of carrots a few weeks ago in this same bed. Those carrots are doing pretty good. They should be ready in about a month or so. But not all the carrots are bad. We did get some decent carrots out of here. And if you're gonna grow carrots, I definitely recommend this variety, M.I. Gardener Purple Carrots. Over in this area, by the mature audience plant backdrop, I have globe artichokes growing, and these did pretty good this year. So globe artichokes are better suited for climates in the zone 7 range or higher, but we're in zone 5. And this is the first year we've planted these artichokes, and usually it takes till the second year before you get artichokes. But how I got artichokes this year is planting them indoors super early, and then in April, when there was still the danger of frost, I put these artichokes in the ground. Even though they're better suited for warm climates, just the fact that they get that little bit of frost tricks the plant into thinking it's 2 years old. I only grew 4 plants this year. They all did really well. This one here did not bolt, but the one behind it did. Right now, this is the one that's given me the most production. They also give you these really cool, giant purple flowers. This one's not fully open. I've never eaten artichokes, but we're gonna go ahead and harvest some of these and maybe we'll try them out.
This kind of shovel. Which one kind of shovel? This one or this?
Back over here, I got one of the coolest things I grew this year. Super excited about these. These are my store-bought sweet peppers. Here's why I'm so excited for these store-bought sweet peppers. So usually they tell you do not save seeds from grocery store food to grow it. They're usually hybrids, so they usually don't grow true to what you buy at the store. These were organic sweet pepper seeds. I just saved seeds out of one orange pepper and one red one. And let's take a look at what we got here. So this is the finished product that we got. This is one that's a little bit smaller. A lot of these are much bigger than this. I've got a red down here that's a little bit bigger. So this is what we got from store-bought sweet peppers. So I bought a bag of sweet peppers, just saved the seeds, planted them, and got peppers that are identical to the ones we bought from the store. Now talk about a money-saving hack. Instead of buying sweet pepper seeds, you can buy sweet peppers, actually eat them, and just save the seeds and grow more. I can remember where we bought them from. I will put that in the description so you can go to that same store, buy sweet peppers, and grow sweet peppers from seeds. And it's just so cool that we're out here in mid-October and I still have peppers that are getting ripe on the plants. While we're harvesting here, you might notice how chaotic everything in my garden is, and that is by design. You can find different plants that can coexist with each other great. Probably a lot going on here that people would tell you are not good companion plants, but I haven't had any issues here. Just going in here and just digging through and just finding surprise food. hiding amongst the foliage. While I was getting the sweet peppers, I noticed we have the menace of the garden, the zucchini. These are called zucchini black. They're heirloom seeds, also from M.I. Gardner. Highly productive. Probably could have got a lot more zucchinis if we harvested, but I haven't looked at these plants in a long time. These zucchinis are a little beyond what most people would harvest them at. They're very large, very heavy. My favorite way to eat zucchinis is making them into zucchini bread, which we are doing tonight with some of the other zucchinis we got. But these ones will also be turned into bread or possibly baby food. While I was over here, I looked behind me and noticed that even though my cucumber plants are dead, I still have cucumbers, and I missed some. You don't want to miss any cucumbers, and you definitely don't want to get your cucumbers when they're turning yellow like this. Now, I don't know if this would taste any good to eat. Maybe we'll try it out and see. This cucumber's got to be about 2 feet long. This cucumber here is called the China Jade cucumber. You can get these seeds from Baker Creek. But right behind this one that is 2 feet long and overripe, I have one that is pretty decent. It's a little bit smaller, but it is perfect, and we can eat this one. Then right behind those, I have another 2, it looks like, that I can also pick. Let's go ahead and make that 3. Now, these aren't the most beautiful cucumbers, but it is very late in the season. The plants are died back. They're not going to give us any more. But growing throughout the season, this has been one of my favorite varieties, along with the Suyo Long cucumber. They are burpless, so they attract a lot less cucumber beetles. And instead of trying to fight garden pests, I'm relying more and more on varieties that are just resistant to pests. As I'm walking through here, I'm finding more and more stuff that I missed the harvest on. So over in here, I had some eggplants growing. So we're a little late. They got a little bit of blemishing on them, but nothing that's cutting into the fruits. These are called Little Fingers eggplant. And looking at this guy here, I think the little fingers thing went a little wrong with this guy. That's a big finger if I ever did see one. But ideally, this heirloom variety, also available from M.I. Gardner, Little Fingers eggplant, is supposed to grow into smaller fruits that are about 6 inches in length, kind of like this one. So these are still going to be good to eat. So we're going to go ahead and pick these, toss them in the basket. And we don't have many, but it also looks like we have some purple green beans, or just purple beans, ready to harvest. Like most of the warmer season crops, the plants are dying back, but we still have some good beans left. If you look over in this direction, I have all these big plants growing here. These are the black radish from M.I. Gardner. I don't grow radishes to eat them. I grow them to feed my chickens, so I always let the plants bolt, because I can come back here and just keep cutting off the plant and feed it to my chickens. And then at the end of the season, like right now, I can come in here and pick these enormous radishes out of here, and I can chop these up. And at first the chickens were not a huge fan of the radishes chopped up, but once they got a taste, they love it. And just look at all this biomass I have here. I can use this in compost. Instead, all of this with the slugs and everything on it is going to go right to the chickens, and the chickens are going to compost it in the chicken composting system. Let's go ahead and grab some of these red and yellow and orange mystery hot peppers. So these red ones further over in this direction, these were supposed to be Carolina Reapers, and so were these yellow ones. Both of these plants came out of the same seed packet. So I'm thinking there was some kind of mix-up, maybe some hybridization in the field while they were growing them from the bees maybe. So I don't believe these are pure Carolina Reapers, but there's one thing I can tell you. These things are insanely hot. A few weeks ago, picked some of these when my dad was over here, and we just sat around and started munching on some of these peppers just to give them a shot and see how hot they really were. So we were just taking small bites like that, and it really doesn't take long for it to kick in. So Maybe not pure Carolina Reapers, but still insanely hot peppers. Seeing something over that way that's pretty cool, that's catching my eye. But before we go look at that, I want to show you one more thing in this area. Right here, we have a naturally created hybrid. So this is a hybrid between the zucchini black and some sort of weird straight neck or crooked neck squash that popped up in my garden last year, even though I didn't plant it. So I left that one fruit to rot over the winter in my garden, and around July or so, I took some of the seeds out of that rotting squash and planted them. And this is what we ended up with. Since you're not supposed to plant seeds from a hybrid, we're gonna take the best looking fruits from that batch and save seeds from those and see if maybe we can stabilize this hybrid and turn it into an heirloom over the years. But over here is what I thought is cool. We're gonna kind of disregard the garden past right now since it is late in the season. Looks like we got some wine cap mushrooms that did not get destroyed by the slugs. So these are going to be good ones for us to harvest and eat. Let's go ahead, crack these guys off here, making sure we don't disturb the fungal network. Our basket is getting pretty full, but we have a couple more things to grab. Let's look at the ruby red Swiss chard. I have ruby red Swiss chard growing in various spots all throughout my garden. I've ate some of it, but most of it goes to the chickens. The chickens love the color red, so they favor this over the other greens. This time of year is a really good time to harvest this because the slug pressure and the cabbage worm pressure is really down. So you can see that these are nearly flawless leaves on here. So I'm going to cut a few of these guys off, and maybe we'll grab some sage while we're over here. The yellow jackets are sleeping. I can come over here and we can harvest some of this beautiful yellow Swiss chard, also available from M.I. Gardener. Let's go ahead and get some kale. We have some of the Dinosaur kale from M.I. Gardener, as well as the beautiful red Russian. Just look at the foliage on this. At a time when most are starting to tear apart their gardens, we are actually still getting production out here. I believe that has something to do with the way we grow. And I like to call this way we grow beyond organic, and everything is grown with permaculture principles. But I think we're actually starting to get beyond permaculture as well. We're trying to create almost a natural environment within the environment that we live in. No pesticides, no fertilizer, no water, just let it grow. Make sure you guys subscribe because pretty soon I'm going to be showing you how I do my garden cleanup. It's done in 2 stages and it does not involve tearing anything out of the ground until it actually dies back. And why tear anything out when it's still giving us food? Like the video, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching.